I acknowledge the Wurundjeri people as the traditional custodians of this land. Our home of the last 20 years was built in 1977 by merchant builders using an adaptation of a 1965 project home plan, The Courtyard, by architect Graham Gunn. Merchant builders had a radical ambition to create total living environments for families in the suburbs. To achieve this, the landscape and interiors received the same care and expert input as the house design. Despite being in the suburbs, our home is deliberately unsuburban, an almost invisible home that disappears into its garden due to its simple, plain exterior and natural materials and colours, exactly as the original architect Gunn and landscape architect Alice Stones intended. By situating the one-room deep C-shaped house on the south of our narrow east-west block, the two living areas that separate the adult and children's wings receive northern daylight. This arrangement also means that the garden spaces are very private. Despite having neighbours quite close, they are invisible. This concern with privacy extends to the interior, where sliding doors separate the two living areas from each other and the bedroom wings. Yet it is possible to open everything up to discreetly supervise children from the sunny kitchen informal dining area. This separation not only gives visual and acoustic privacy, but helps from an energy efficiency point of view, making it possible to heat and cool only occupied rooms. The original marketing from the company stated that excellence in design is a combination of careful, practical planning and satisfying aesthetic qualities, and the good design not only doesn't date, but is an honest response to real needs. And the needs they identified were for privacy, relaxation, comfort, peacefulness, harmony, sunshine and connection with your natural environment. Despite being a compact 151 square metres, almost half the average size of a home built today, our home feels spacious due to the relationship between the interior and garden spaces and the absence of visual clutter. Again, this is due to a deliberate strategy by the original interior designer Jane Faulkner, who used indirect lighting and visually quiet, simple, matte, natural materials for the extensive built-in storage. Today, we would call this aesthetic minimalism, yet the reason the original designer chose uncompromising simplicity wasn't because of how it photographed in a magazine, but because of how it makes you feel every day to live in a calm and light, peaceful and private garden where the ordinary daily needs of family life at all stages have been thought of and catered to. This concern for the quality of life extended to a concern for the environment. Our home was intended to reduce reliance on active heating and cooling, yet the technical understanding of how to do this was in its infancy. The light-flooded living spaces face north, shaded by deep eaves and a pergola, and with windows that open on either side of the room for excellent cross-ventilation, are great in summer. However, the depth of the eaves reduces winter heat gain, and the original extensive single glazing, lack of insulation and air sealing meant that during the colder months we were freezing. This shouldn't be surprising. A home's age is a very good indicator of its measured thermal performance. Homes built before the 1990s in Victoria averaged NAITHA's 0.5 stars. Those between the 1990s and 2006 are a little better at an average of 1.5 to 2 stars, but still a long way off the 5 or more stars of homes built after 2006. As more than 90% of existing homes were built prior to 2006, the majority of our homes are very uncomfortable due to extremely poor thermal performance. Yet, improving or retrofitting to bring a house up to modern standards isn't rocket science or new. It is just a matter of insulation, air sealing, improved window performance and shading, plus efficient heating, cooling and hot water. We use very efficient heat pump technology for our hot water, clothes drying, heating and cooling. We ditched the gas and are all electric with a 6.6 kilowatt solar array on the roof. This produces 140% of our energy, making us net zero and 10 stars on the residential energy efficiency scorecard. The story these figures don't tell is how amazing it is to finally live in a house that is comfortable year-round, even in extreme weather, and how wonderfully quiet, dust, mould and bug-free an insulated and air-sealed home is. My message would be that it is absolutely feasible to make a freezing home comfortable and energy efficient. In fact, the same strategies do both. There are so many variables to consider when improving home comfort that describing in great detail what we did wouldn't be applicable to many. So I thought about the kind of general advice and principles that I would have liked to have had explained. The most important is making clear goals and checking that every decision contributes to reaching these goals. The hardest step is knowing where to start. We didn't aim for perfection, but good enough. To that end, getting expert input is very important. Then accurately specifying materials, windows and methods, as well as verifying air sealing and insulation installation. Planning to go all electric is a great idea, as is future-proofing for climate change, especially with respect to heat waves and rainfall intensity, ageing in place and electric car charging. Exploit synergies, reduce moisture in size, monitor consumption, and choose timeless practical design rather than a style. The original designer's aims and strategies to create a calm, light, peaceful, private and practical total living environment are as relevant to today's families as 50 years ago. I would agree with their claim that there are lasting rewards of intelligent design and their understanding of the critical role of feeling and function in creating a home.